Welcome. Good morning. Hello. Let's see your beautiful faces. Hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. My volume was down. Welcome, everyone. Our celebration, Prosperous You. Oh, I like your hair, Jenny.
Thank you.
Welcome. Oh, good morning. So let's see, put your cameras on if you haven't already. Lovely. Thank you for being here this morning. We are here to celebrate our week, 2 weeks together, and to hear from you what your ahas were and how you're presenting today. So just taking a couple minutes to think and ground yourself. If you haven't, maybe write your goal, decide how you'd like to share. We'll go around the room, and I would love to hear how you're showing up today. That's a little different than how you would have shown up 2 weeks ago. What you've learned this over the past couple of weeks, and I'm sure there's lots of ahas, but really like hone in on a couple that you plan to be in praxis with, and specifically what that looks like. And then we'll acknowledge you and share in this beauty. I'm so happy to be here with you today. So I thought I've been thinking a lot about what I was going to wear, and I'm in pajamas. Do you notice? On purpose. So I actually changed because I've already been out this morning. I'm wearing silk pajamas because something for me with my goal achieved is like calm, so calm and relaxed and deep in luxury, like feeling good. And so these silk pajamas are, I got them for my birthday. They represent that for me. And wearing them with lipstick because I can, because it feels good, because I want it. And then I'm on purpose in my bed because I want to show what else represents this for me. Can you see this? I also got silk sheets. So I'm like silk on silk on silk. And for me, the richness is like the luxury, like just the feeling of it and being so comfortable. And that's what this represents for me personally. And this feeling of calmness and serenity and peace, surrounded by nature and my thoughts, like me, because I really love who I've become on the journey. So that's my goal achieved. My ahas in this work have been that there is always more work to do, that there's always like more, next level. and that our understanding and awareness of this material transforms our families' lives, are the people around us. For you, for your family, for your community, and then the world. And there's such an incredible ripple effect. So as you heal your relationship with money, and then in turn heal your relationship with you, because that's what it's all about, right? You actually contribute to the shift and the healing of the world, because we're all one. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for being in this conversation. It takes courage. It took courage. And you're here. And I acknowledge you. And now you get to walk in this feeling, in this understanding, every day. And it's a commitment. And together we lock arms and we do it. Together. So, with that, I recommend you put your view, if you can. I have one on gallery so I can see all of you. But you can also put on speaker one. When someone unmutes themselves, they will flash on your screen so we can highlight everyone. A good idea. All right. So who's next? I invite you to the stage. Unmute yourself and share.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So one of my main ahas from the prosperity codes is that I am okay. And using this in practice, I used it this week when my teenage daughter was driving us home. I kept saying, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, just to relax. So I'm loving the energy and that I can do that when I launch. I can do that in any situation where I start feeling the terror barrier. So that was my big takeaway.
Beautiful. And tell us how you're showing up today, Andrea.
Okay, so today I am showing up to me more confident and more positive, different mindset and perspective. I got a phone call not too long ago that would have, put me in a space, but I regrouped and I'm here.
Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Okay, next.
Hi there.
Hi, Jenny.
Jenny. Okay. Well, I'm showing up today as the singer-songwriter, and I purposely went on earlier this morning after our study club when I was feeling very vulnerable and I didn't have any makeup or anything, just being Jenny. Oh, this is Jenny too. Like, that's really how I was feeling. I was very vulnerable, and knowing that that is a strength. It's not a weakness to be vulnerable. And I've been told that that there is power in being vulnerable. And so I'm not going to be afraid of that anymore, of crying, and so I'm going to start sharing more of my words that I have written. I have like notebooks and notebooks of them, and so I'm just going to share them in the Success Society. And they're not finished, they're not perfect, and so I'm fine with that. I'm going to just stop hiding them away, and I think there's value in there in what comes through to me to share.
So beautiful. I was going to say, if they're hiding away the words, then no one gets the gift of experiencing them, and they're just like there. You know them, but none of us get to experience them. There's so much value. So thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for being here as an incredible singer-songwriter who has an empowering message to share. Way to go.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
And aren't we the like most blessed community that we get to hear Jenny's words before like the rest of the world, you know? Like, how cool is that? So good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well done. All right, I'm going to start calling people. So I have, after Andrea on my thing, I've got Beth. Hey, Beth.
I knew I was going to be next. I'm showing up confident, like a leader, a parent, knowing that I can be present in all areas and I don't have to sacrifice anything for it. I can have this and that, and that's a big one. Seeing how I have looked at money over the years and knowing, I really liked how you said rich people own nothing and control everything. Thank you. Yeah, you can have it. Also really looking at debt and looking at it not as a bad thing, and that you're safe, and how to spend your investments and decide on your desires and use cash for your desires and investments for your visa, for example. And so that's huge for me. That's really, really big. And I think that's really going to help. And looking at the relationship that my husband and I both have a different mindset with money, but looking at how he just doesn't know what he doesn't know, and it's okay. And we're safe. And I have seen huge growth in the last couple of days, and money is flowing because I feel that changing the perception around it has opened up the hose, like you say. So that's my aha.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for being here. And I love hearing your family in the background, because it's exactly what you're saying. You get to have it all. So great. I see Blue next.
Okay, so my ahas was actually that because I wanted to be rich, I went like looking for it. Where is it? Where is it? And it made me feel poor. So, you know, when we were talking about what is the amount that makes you okay, I know I have a lot of overflow and actually not at all poor. So that was a huge aha actually. But also the feeling that I don't know what kind of service I can give to people. That got much bigger now than it was before. And I'm getting up at the party girl as I am. I love partying when my goal is achieved. And I like, you know, this is not champagne, but I like drinking of special glasses and have a lot of fun. And in my goal, I am also working with trees, so I didn't want to go with the working clothes kind of. Yeah.
I love it. I love how each of you have put so much thought into this. So it's so amazing. And I absolutely love the jewels. Everyone notice the jewels? Come closer so that we can see your necklace. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so pretty.
I don't know, I got a new camera. It's not very good, but
oh my gosh, look at that. They're like
it's wings.
Oh,
It is the wings from the other training we had.
yeah.
And my husband actually gave me these wings.
Wow. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Your husband has good taste.
Yeah.
So good. So now we know you as the party girl.
Yeah.
And having fun. And listen, the way that you are providing service It's becoming more and more clear. So it's going to come. It's all coming as part of the process as you move through the material. You'll know exactly how you'll help other people and you'll make that impact. And you already are. I think it's just like understanding and fine tuning it for yourself. In the back office, there is a training called My Purpose Training.
Oh,
Go and find that next and do that.
absolutely.
And yeah, and it's some questions that you can ask about service and just like what you love to do. And it's what you like, how you just shared about being like, this is how you'll help. It just sometimes it's like, but how can I make money from that? Like what I love doing, but that part isn't up to you. So it will come. So wonderful. You look absolutely stunning. Thank you everyone for putting so much like energy and thought into this. Makes me so happy. Thank you, Blue. Caroline, you're next.
Good morning, everyone. So I need to just show you my outfit because so I'm wearing my kick-ass double lapel and my heels because I'm obsessed with these shoes and I wear them any opportunity I get, including in my office at home right now. And so I'm showing up as the kick-ass CEO of my own company and the founder of my organization that's international and, you know, making a difference for youth and their families around the world. And I guess like my biggest takeaway, well, first off, was that this version of me can happen, you know, now that I can get off, you know, the sidelines and just jump before I know how, where, or like what I'm going to land on. And so like I shared briefly in the chat and in a couple of videos, I'm launching a course that I've been writing for a few months and I'm just going to figure it out as I go. And it was in one of your trainings that you said, first you shared about how you launched your course. And of course, immediately I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe I could take mine and break it down over 4 weeks and just write as I go. And just because it's all going to feed into itself. And then the next thing you said, what have you been sitting on? What have you been waiting to do? And then I said, okay, I hear you. So that's a huge aha for me, you know. And then of course in my studies this morning, I heard and you shared in the webinar I watched that it's when you get emotionally involved with your goal that your body moves into action. And that's exactly what I've experienced. And with this, my aha around money, I shared that I never realized that I had a paradigm around my fridge being full. And that because growing up with my mom, our fridge was always overflowing. And I always said that food was the one thing I would never like skimp out on for myself. But then I realized that when my fridge would get empty, I had the experience of I'm not okay. And so now I see that like there's an abundance of food and really understanding need versus desire. And now when I go to the grocery store, I have this sense of calm and feeling. I was like, okay, well, I'll just get the things I want or need right now because I could come back in 2 hours and get something else if I really had to. Or it's just this sense of calm. And when I went to the grocery store today, no joke, 9 out of 10 things I was buying anyways were all on sale. And I said exactly like you said, you know, I acknowledge, thank you, universe. What else? What else? Like, thank you so much. What else? Oh, that too, of course. Okay, wonderful. And as my husband had been away for 5 days, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if he came back after 5 days of vacation and his work gave him a raise? And I thought that'd be kind of cool. And then he went back to work on Thursday and told me Thursday night, yeah, they gave me another raise. I said in my head, of course they did. So I just love seeing where money flows and understanding the path of least resistance and being able to continue to evolve this for myself.
Beautiful. So cool. Ask and it is given. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. When you're acknowledging all the sales throughout the grocery store, like remember how much gratitude changes the situation. In like it can just continue because you're like, yeah, and that and more of that. So beautiful.
Mhm.
You look stunning.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
showing up as a CEO. Nice to see you.
Mhm.
We've seen you for a while. It's nice to
Thank
officially see you. Elizabeth is next.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm coming here today knowing that I'm okay. I think that's been the greatest learning through this process. My needs are taken care of. I'm safe, and I'm I'm growing into. And I'm pausing because I'm still for sure in the feeling uncomfortable. And that this couple of weeks has really shifted a lot for me, and I'm feeling that discomfort. But where I'm really growing into is knowing that the money will be there. It's always going to be there. I'm excellent what I do. I have great potential ahead of me, and I'm going to think big, dream big, and risk big, knowing that the success will always come.
Beautiful. And it's okay. It's okay for you to still be in the feeling of being disrupted and knowing that you're safe, like you said.
Mm.
So I thank you for being here, and thank you for acknowledging that there's disruption inside.
Yeah.
Out of that, like I said yesterday, you get to provide, like you get to create the like the order from it, and it's just will take a little time, right? Like anything, when there's chaos, the best thing to do is just like have it all on paper and just to look and choose on the couple things that you'll apply first and forgive the rest, and then you'll move on to the next.
That's
This
perfect.
it's like right at the exact time. You're right where you're meant to be. And
I feel that. Mhm.
And what cool news, because I remember your comment about like, I'm freaking out because I don't think I earn enough to cover expenses. And then to
Yeah.
notice that you do. And so you're already in abundance. It's so important to like see that. Because the experience of having is a key part. Yeah, proud of you, Elizabeth. Thank you for your courage. Beautiful. I would like to acknowledge Kelly's note in the chat. Let me just see. She's had to opt for a meeting. Is there anyone else? So she's reading. I'll read it. I'm showing up to my meeting and promoting myself because rich people promote and poor people brag. So good. Does anyone else have a time limit that wants to go next? Because I'm calling you off in the order at the moment. So you can unmute yourself or raise your hand.
I can go, Danielle.
Thanks, Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hi, how are you guys? Love listening to everybody share this morning. So good. And I love your PJs. They're stunning. Okay, so I'm showing up today as my next level self. I am the CEO of my company here. So I can do it all. I can be here with you. I can be running this business. I have staff I have faith in. It's amazing. I show up today not wearing my sweats anymore. Over the last, I mean, this prosperity codes has been amazing, but it's been working up. We've been learning some things along the way, which has been amazing. So I have decided, how can I show up in comfort and opulence at the same time? So that's who I want to be. What I got out of prosperity codes this week was the investment piece and what's an investment, and just looking at the return on investment and how wealthy, rich people don't look at something as a debt. It's an investment and there will be a return. So I feel I've been playing small in some areas. So I will be stepping up that piece, which is exciting. And I have booked tonight. I am going to Blue Bloods restaurant in Castellona tonight. It's a Michelin star restaurant, and I'm going to notice how I feel there, how I order, what I order, and everything's going to be good and okay. And I'm going to feel opulent tonight. So I'm excited for that.
Beautiful, Donna. I love it. And I love that you're wearing jewelry at the gym. It's like the Tiffany, right? Yeah, I love it. You look gorgeous. And thank you for being here on a very busy day at the gym, at the studio as well. So I appreciate you having it all. And we
Thank you.
acknowledge you. Thank you, Donna. So
Thanks.
good. Heather is next on my list. Heather. Hi, gorgeous.
I am definitely in the midst of big emotions. A large array of, sadness, breakthroughs, bouts of anger that I think are things that I have been holding in. I am still navigating being a mother and a businesswoman and feeling supported. And my aha already just during this call is this is part of my mission. This is part of my service to support other mothers who have big dreams, who want to make an impact, who want to lead by example for their daughters, for their sons, for their children, to let them know that they are supported. I have been calling out abundance all morning. I loved our study club this morning. And so I've been calling out abundance of time, of freedom, of support, of joy that my children give me, that I get to receive, that I get to give back to them, thinking of what are all of the things that I can give, what do I want to receive more of, just really trying to call that out. And there's a big part of me that I think I'm releasing that keeps wanting to do everything by myself. And I'm trying to acknowledge and feel and let it move through me because I've held on to it for so long. And I thank all of you for holding space for me. I want other moms to feel support. I want to see and grow through, what I've been holding on to as limitations for what I'm capable of in my life. And through this work, I know what I'm capable of. I believe it now. It's me getting more and more clear for how that looks. And now I'm recognizing part of my mission is to work through this myself and I don't know if I've lost you guys.
We see you. Perfect.
And help others feel safe. Oh,
Hey, we can see you.
Feel safe and supported, and that they have dreams that they're worthy of, that are within them. separate than just being a mother. That motherhood is an aspect of us, but that our soul and our mission on earth is so much bigger than that. And that is one role. And we can wear many hats, but there is a burning desire in all of us to make an impact in people's lives. And I am excited and enthused. Sorry, I am enthused, not sorry.
Perfect.
I am a work in progress. I'm a steady work in progress. I'm
It's
gonna
so perfect, Heather. And, you know, showing up how you're showing up right now and being willing to share is part of what all of us get to experience through you. And you are okay. And as you learn this for yourself, as you shared with us, then you can share it with other moms. And thank you for being brave and leading the way. Thank you for figuring it out for mothers all over the world. And exactly how you are right now is how we get to be. It's not perfection, right? It's just like, it's the real truth. It's what Jenny was saying, the vulnerability of it all. I'm really proud of you. And it's just like, it's so perfect, like how the camera's moving all over. And how you didn't see your photo for a minute, and it's all perfect. Like, I want you to see that like being okay with that is what you get to experience, and then show moms and normalize this, because this is what wearing multiple hats looks like. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Keep going. So good. Thank you, Heather. I have John next.
Boy. Good morning, everybody. Everybody looks great this morning. Yeah, I'm a little behind actually on prosperity codes. I've been watching some of the replays. I'm up to module 6, I think, from Wednesday, and I caught a bit of the Q&A yesterday, so I'm a little bit unprepared, but lots of ahas come out of it. From last week, the biggest thing that hit me first was just that how I've been really living in lack without knowing it, because of that idea of that I didn't have what I needed. So that was a big one for me to recognize, to get out of that feeling of, grasping for things, and get into the feeling or the recognizing that we're okay, we're more than okay, and there's abundance everywhere around us. And so that was a big deal for me last week. And then, yeah, just from listening to this week's webinars, just more into how rich people think. And some of that sounded familiar from some advice and coaching I've heard from people over the years, but some of it's just so new and yeah, just powerful. But so through that, yeah, I think the one I was listening to this morning was Wednesday, I think, talking about what opportunities are you sitting on and holding back on. And a couple have been sort of popping up in my mind just this week. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm making excuses, and I have been saying, oh, I have to get this figured out. Once I get past this, and well, next year we'll do this. And this morning I thought, like, just get on with it. And because I know from this that once you take that step, then things open up. And that's really an exciting concept to think that what's going to happen when I take these steps here and just open up the possibilities. So that was a big one for me too. And then also the recognizing I've had a paradigm around not wanting to get too busy with things, because being a dad and a husband is pretty important to me. That's the that's the my main concern here. So I've always held back on things, not wanting to get too busy, but recognizing that that is, I think, been holding me back. So then the idea of getting more comfortable with letting people do things for me, hiring people and putting things in their hands. It's always been a thing that I like Heather mentioned, I want to do everything myself, for a lot of it to do with just the satisfaction of doing it. But now recognizing that's not necessary, and I can blow through this paradigm and do all these things without being too busy. So
good.
that's who I'm working towards. That's who I am. It's who I'm showing up as.
And that just opens up so much possibility, John, like
Yeah.
not being the only one, right? And it does sometimes look like things aren't done the way that you would do them. And there's also gifts in that,
Mhm.
and what you experience and what you learn. So
Yeah, I
I
think
was
you're right.
thinking, I was thinking as you were talking, like I'm excited. First of all, for those of that you don't know, John and I are doing a hot seat on Wednesday where we're going to brainstorm around his business. And so that's in the calendar for next week. And John, like I always have thought, like has seen so much potential and possibility in what you do in your business. And you are moving in that direction and you continue to do so. And I think as you take these steps that aren't necessarily perfect and you put yourself out there, it's just going to explode. And
Yeah.
I know that. I was thinking when you were talking that thanks to you, I have an abundance of beef in my freezer and I'm always so grateful. So yesterday when I came to the chalet, I grabbed the ground from the freezer and I always think, I'm like, oh, and my husband gets more ground than probably anyone else from like out of beef because he loves making really nice burgers. So we like make the good beef into ground. But as I was playing it, I was like, I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the job you do and how we invest in you so that we can have such great product. And there needs to be more farmers like you in the world. Really, really, you guys do such a great job. So I look forward to having you on the hot seat on Wednesday.
Thank you very much for that. And I appreciate the support and all of this work. Yeah, you were saying something about the opportunities. I feel the same way. There's so much out there, and it's been those bits that are holding me back. But yeah, I've just noticed in the last few weeks and months, just things are flowing, like the money's flowing, and
So good.
it's inspiring. It opens up so much potential and opens your eyes to the potential and opportunities. So yep.
And you've been dedicated, so keep going, you know.
Yeah, and actually that was the other thing I was going to mention, that living in lack mindset that came up last week there. I just felt like, what am I doing? What am I missing? I'm doing everything. And like you say, it just feels like there's a kink in my hose. And then I realized that even though I've been writing these things and putting these things into practice, like about the abundance and gratitude and stuff, it was buried down there.
Yeah.
In there, that there was this lack mentality.
Yeah. And as you know, we're ready to heal it, we'll become aware of what's there. So this is what I realized is that like, it's just like it then comes to surface, we can resolve it and like release it. And so it's, like, because if you think of how the unconscious puts all of like the memories and the stuff down, and it's like, but then as we start to become more clear in our vibration and raise our frequency, then it's like, oh, look, John's okay. Let's give him this to resolve. Like John's John's doing well. So he's ready to resolve this one. And then you can resolve that. And then, oh, look, he's good. He's doing well again. Let's give him this one because it's busy down there. Right. So you want to free up some space. So yeah. So your awareness of it is at perfect time.
Yeah. The other one that came up there this morning, I don't mean to keep going on, but about the idea of moving on, taking action on things, because if you sit and wait, you're missing that opportunity. And you might, maybe you lose sometimes, but the number of times that you win will overwhelm those times. So in the meantime,
Totally.
you could be making your millions.
Yeah, totally. And you like you'll never lose because you just keep like adapting. So I always think about like, let's say you're launching a new product, for me, like a program, and let's say two people buy it. Well, I can learn from those two people, and the next time is, I don't know, 10 people or 20. It's like if I wait, then I'm missing out on all that learning and all that adaptation, you know? So like, because I'm just learning in my own head. So it's better to go out and launch it, or like do the new thing. If it's just a couple people, it's still a couple people. Like, so just so grateful for that learning. Yeah, that's good. Way to go. Cool. Thanks,
Awesome.
John.
Thank you.
Kim, I have Kim next.
Good morning.
Morning. Love your necklace too. Look at that.
Thank you. I bought all this for New Year's like 2 years ago and never wore it. So I'm like, might as well put it on today. Yeah, so many things have come up the last like couple days. Definitely things just keep clicking in my head as far as like why I've done things that way. This and that's been huge for me. You know, I've made a lot of choices through, you know, I'm a single mom of two, through my career and through different things, that, you know, just realizing that you can have both. And even I always thought you could, but not at the same time. So the whole conversation about time has been really big for me too. Stop trading time for money. That's like definitely what I've been doing. And when you're like, you run out of time, I literally am like, you know, 14 hours a day and being like, it's too much just for me. So I've really, that's been a huge help in trying to change that perspective. So see the things that I get to do instead of that I have to do. And just looking at it that way has made a big difference. I've really started to now pay people to do things. So instead of me having to mow my lawn, and even looking like the whole concept of pulling the weeds, I know some of it's from Pop too, that really hit me again the other day, like literally and figuratively. So like in the spring, I'm just paying for a landscaper to come and do it all the time. So like every day I don't come in and see all the weeds and like feel it on me like something else I have to do. That's been huge because I always feel like I have to do everything myself. Like the other mom that was saying that, like, I totally get that. I've been there. I still go back to that sometimes. But just choosing that who you are and finding, you know, the power within yourself, like playing to win instead of playing not to lose. You know, the fact that money is everywhere and seeing that abundance, seeing the opportunities, and things have definitely started to come to me more easily. So even when you said about like the different streams of income within my business, we have some limitations because of the regulations, but even starting to see now within my business, different streams of, you know, leads that are now coming to me, or all of a sudden something will show up and they're like, oh, someone wants to talk to you. So that's totally been happening. About being a good receiver, that really hit. I'm a very good giver. Until yesterday, I was not a good receiver. So I do notice myself now stopping and just saying thank you instead of, I would have always been, you know, saying something else afterwards. The whole fact that this was from the other day too, that my security comes from myself. That's been huge for me. You know, I walked away from a very secure career that I had, but I was miserable in it. I did that about 1.5 years ago and decided then, so I've kind of been doing this without realizing it, you know, that I took the chance on myself. I went to 100% commission. I've never been in a commission role in my entire life. You you know, with 2 kids, my son's in college. But just knowing that I took that bet on myself, and this has really been helpful because there are definitely times with that, you know, you get in your head and you're like, what did I do? Like, what happens if this doesn't work? Like, this is all on me. But now seeing that, you know, it is limitless and that I have all of that, instead of just seeing that that's what I made, now I can make whatever I want and just really keep going with that, and investing in myself. I've started to do that too. So like I started to go back to like getting my nails done, which I hadn't done in a year and a half, go back to, I don't know, like even putting on makeup. So showing up as who I want to be and starting to feel, you know, into that luxury sometimes or into that leisure. So like my daughter and I'm like, we're going out to lunch afterwards because I'm like, I'm not in my yoga pants anymore and just in my Zoom top that I usually am. So that's been huge. And I think it's empowering to believe in yourself and in your strength. And I'm really trying to have her see that too, and be like, step into who you want to become. Don't just wait for things to happen.
So good. I acknowledge you for passing that on, and you look gorgeous. I'm glad you're going out for lunch. That's maybe a tip for like, you know, all of us that I'll change, but like if you've gotten dressed up to go and do something, then really great, Kim. You said something, an aha that was really important that I'm hoping everyone caught during the past couple of weeks was like rich people, they know their value. And so if they know how much they can earn doing the biggest, like their income producing activity. So if they think, well, if I have a call with someone that could, you know, for you, Kim, that meeting could have let's just pick a number, like a $5,000 return or a $1,000 return. You can find out what your average is if you average it all out. And then anything that is less than that, then anything that you do that is a less return. So for that, you can hire someone for less, it's important to hire someone. So this is how I decided to then like have someone then clean my house, because I would always clean my house. And I said, okay, well, I can pay someone $35 and then I have to use that time for income producing activity because I could earn 150 or 1,000 that hour, but then I've got to really make sure I'm in those meetings. It's huge because it frees up so much of your time and the burden, like you were saying. It's massive. And it's what it does for our mind is incredible, because now you're not like worried about the lawn. You're not worried about the cleaning. All of that's taken care of. And then you can focus on what you focus on to make money, because the laundry doesn't make you money. Make sense? Like pulling the weeds in the garden doesn't make your money unless you're John. But anyway, he needs to hire someone to do that. You know, like it's super important to realize. I hope everyone got that, because that to me was like not logical. I don't have the money to pay for the housekeeper, but I actually don't have the time to do the housekeeping. I could need to spend my time income producing. Yeah, good. So great.
That's right. It's freeing, definitely.
It's so freeing. But then what I found though is I hired the housekeeper, and then my paradigm didn't have me making the calls because I was afraid. So I had to work through, like I really had to discipline myself, give myself the command to make sure that I'm not like sitting on my butt, right? Like I'm actually doing the work that I said I would to make the money. And even if that call doesn't make the income, I know that the average of those will. So it's like just being in that space of income producing. Yeah.
It's that feeling too, and that connection. Like I feel like I've been making so many more connections with people. So even if you don't know, like it could not be that person, but now you're in a group of people and just you feel that weight is lifted, that you are now attracting people that feel that way too. And at that level, like that's where you said at one point how like no thought is free, or it's not rent free. Like that's huge too. So like all of that is just taking up space and noise, and it just, you can see the opportunities much more if you have that clarity and get rid of all the junk.
So good. Thank you for being here. Wonderful. Thank you, Kim. Next, I have Christina.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Am I on? Can you?
You are.
All right. So it was a very, I thoroughly enjoyed the 2 weeks, and through the whole process, there were so many things that kind of bubbled up in me without even giving it a second thought. So a lot of things you talked about, somehow in my brain, I went, I knew that. And I used to think like that. And a long time ago, that's how I approach things. And then I was thinking, like, where did they go dormant in me? At what process and what time, sort of stuff. So I was glad to see them all kind of come up to the surface again from before, you know. That having said that, that made me kind of look at and reevaluate my goal from a monetary perspective. On my goal card, when I would say, I would never feel really that monetary goal. I could feel a lot of other things, but I could never feel the monetary sort of goal. So I have to go back and reevaluate why I can't feel it, and then kind of bring it more into my life. Trying to work on with my goal achieved on a daily basis, 2 reoccurring things just come to me, and I think it's a testament to what this program really does. And I always see myself in just joy. Like, I don't know, I don't want to say why or how come, but I just see joy. That's it. I feel joy. And the best part of it is I feel like I'm 30 years old in that goal achieved, you know, and let me tell you, I'm more than that, more than double that. So that feeling there is really, really great. The other thing I did in the last 2 weeks is I've revamped my wardrobe. I'm almost finished that, you know, getting rid of, rather than thinking, oh, I might wear that, it might come in handy. I haven't worn it for 2 years. It's not going to come in handy. And I went out and I bought things that I liked. Rather, are they practical? Where am I going to wear them? I just bought it. I said, I like it. I would have never spent that kind of money on a tracksuit, but it looked wonderful. Bought it. That was it, you know? It also sort of going through this, I've in the last 2 weeks, you keep talking about impact, and if we have the money we're able to do the impact. And I think I finally came to understand it through the 2-week process, the impact that if I do have it, what I can do with it and in what order. And I really like that, you know, first it's me, then my family, then my extended family, then my community, and that sort of stuff to go on. So that was my aha moment in the process. Yeah.
Beautiful. Your energy is like, woo, like she's got the zest.
Yeah.
I see you. You're 30.
You know what? I'm going to acknowledge, I'm going to cry, my accountability partner, who we had a great conversation yesterday, and what she noticed in me from our last conversation to bring me to yesterday's point was phenomenal. So thanks to Sarah.
Aw, love it.
Yeah. It was
Sarah
great.
Hall, is it Sarah Hall that's your accountability partner? Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when she put up that she's an accountability partner, I didn't even question it. Just Stuart, yep, I need one too.
Oh, I love it.
And that was it. So yeah,
Aw.
my week, my 2 weeks.
So good. Well, your energy is it's very different. It's just like when you said I feel 30 and my goal achieved, I was like, that's it. She feels like younger.
Yeah. I
So
see that
cool.
all the time in my head.
Lovely. I love it. Congratulations on buying what you wanted to buy
Yeah.
and purging your closet too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here and showing up, and thank you for being in your light energy this morning.
My pleasure. Love it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Lisa's next.
Hello, everybody. I am showing up as Lisa D in, I can't see, but I got my jogger pants on and my lipstick. My goal is to really just, for me, is to just feel sexy and feel good about myself regardless of what I've got on. And that's been a big thing for me. I recognize these past few weeks that I've spent a lot of time trying to be something and someone that I'm not, like protecting myself and keeping myself safe, thinking that if nobody really knew who I was, then that would be the best way, right? Recognizing that that's not the right way. That's not the best way. So really learning that I have a lot of good qualities that you know, I have the opportunity to share, and instead of trying to like push them down, allowing myself to rise with them and use my gifts and be proud of them instead of, you know, the other way around. And so I just noticed this week, even just like I feel like having the gift of a sense of humor, the value of using it to my advantage instead of, you know, when you said it's okay, like, you know, when the paradigms come up, just be like, oh, it's the paradigm, right? Instead of thinking that there's something wrong with me, just using that and be like, oh my God, there it is again, right? And so just recognizing that it's okay to be me and it's safe to be me. And yeah, that is really, really, I don't like, I think it's bigger than I actually realize right in this moment. And that kind of goes along with the idea of I can have it all. I can be the mom here at home. I can be the hockey mom that I want to be. I can be the wife that I want to be, this, you know, all of those things. And I can be successful. I can have money in my bank account and I can spend money and buy things that I love and desire, and not have that gut-wrenching feeling inside, right? Interestingly, like with Liam this week and his head injury, right? Like, as I reflect on that, there was a lot of learning, and it was so parallel to everything with, you know, when you talked about like rich people making quick decisions and like taking problems face on, not like understanding that there are risks, but you know, we don't focus on those because where energy goes is where your energy flows, where energy goes, right? And that idea is that I'm like, but then also understanding that we operate on the 3 different levels, right? Because I noticed anytime I mentioned that Liam had a head injury, people were like, oh no, right? And just sharing these horror stories of other people. And I was just like, no, I'm like, that's not going to be our reality. That's not going to be our end result. Like, you know, and then teaching Liam too, like your body knows how to heal itself and use that power and all of those things, right? And then I was thinking about like with the doctor's note, like we manifested this doctor's note in like 2 days. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I can manifest a doctor's note in 2 days, what else can, you know, like it just kind of gives me chills. Like it was really, like as I reflect now, it was kind of a small experience, but I could take that to, you know, in any scenario, because I felt that, you know, when you talk about you have to sometimes be that giraffe or be the one that looks like they're crazy from the outside. And because I could even see myself doing that. I'm like, you look like a crazy hockey mom that just wants to get her kid back playing hockey. But it wasn't even really about that. It was just that, I don't know. Well, I guess it kind of was because that was his goal, you know, and it was my goal to see him achieve that. And I thought, I don't know. And it was like, I recognized and I understood the power of I don't want to say the secret side of life, but you know, but like recognizing that there really is more to, and it's working for us if we are open to it, right? Instead of that, you know, because I think I was not
I felt almost guilty understanding that secret side and using it to my advantage. But now I recognize the value in it, and it's to be used for the universe is there to be not used, but to like in a bad way, like, you know, it's there for us, not,
And it's
you know,
available to everybody too.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
available to everybody. And
So
so I can see it as a privilege in a sense, right? That I have that my awareness is open to it. And
perfect.
yeah.
I think that you know, I read your post about like being funny about the paradigm and your sense of humor to your husband. I'd like to see you unleash this humor for us. And I think that there's something like boiling underneath. Like, I don't know if it's like comedian style, but like, I have a feeling that there's another side to Lisa that we're not seeing that I really want to see. And just like the unleashing of it would be really cool. So just to put that out there, you know?
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So good. We have Melissa next.
Oh, I was just about to say, I love that. I just had this crazy vision of Lisa with the comedian thing and bringing in that was awesome. Anyways, so what really came up for me these past 2 weeks, and John, I'd like to acknowledge you for saying that you're catching up, because this is something that really landed for me these past 2 weeks, because I was coming from such a lack limitation in always thinking like, all I'm doing is catching up. All I'm doing is watching the replays, and it's perfect. Like, it's so perfect. I watched the replay of yesterday's call this morning, like, and it was perfect, and it landed at just the right time, and really stepping into that. So I'm showing up today as a creator. I'm showing up as a creator and an educator, realizing that I am sitting on the biggest opportunity of my life as of yesterday. So stepping into that with enthusiasm and excitement, knowing that I have the power to empower, and I'm like not willing to settle anymore. So that's been really, really huge. I think the best homework for me was the welcome call, looking back at my family, my mother especially. And it was interesting because in the beginning I thought, well, I'm my mom, you know, as of yesterday, and I get to change that. And yet I realized as we went through the prosperity codes that I'm also my dad. And so my dad, who's a bricks and mortar business owner, does not acknowledge the abundance that is. And he has a thriving business now, and he doesn't see it for what it is. And so acknowledging where I've been seeing or not recognizing abundance in my own life in that same way. And the exercise of I'm okay, and the worst case scenario really isn't all that bad. And in more than just the money aspect of it, in the relationships, in the work, in the time, in all of it's really not that bad. And then the excuses that I make are simply my paradigm. That was another big aha. I hope that you write a book about this, Danielle. I feel like I would love to go back to chapter 1 and read my highlights, and like this gets to be a book, I think. So yeah.
I so acknowledge you and thank you for that like nudge. Your recognition that you already have so much and that the worst case is not that bad is huge, because then everything else, Melissa, is like gravy. Like, you know, it's like so we already have so much, and yet we get to desire so much more. So it's just really understanding those feelings in your body. And I love the awareness that like the replays are exactly how you're meant to experience it right now, for whatever reason that is. Right? So everyone will watch the video or have the chance to get on the live calls or what on the ones they're meant to get on. That's just it's part of the faith and trust of it all. So thank you for being here today live and showing up as her. Beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, I've got Michelle and then I have Samantha next. So we'll keep queuing you up, and then Shannon, Stephanie, Valerie, Wendy. And then I acknowledge Julianne, you're at the top, so I haven't called you out yet. Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Well, my goal achieved person goes to the gym on Saturdays and washes her hair afterwards. So that's what's up with this. Wow. Gosh, I was even telling Samantha, I'm not sure, I wasn't even sure I wanted to share. So much comes up for me around this. And it's not all pretty, and it's okay. And all week long, like, I mean, I didn't want to, like, I always want a gun in your calls. Like, I want to, I mean, you see me on everything, Danielle. I'm like, oh, Danielle's on. Like, and this week I was like, meh, you know, like, I don't know if I want to after the fourth day or whatever it was, because there was, at the end of one of them, I just had a really, just real emotional reaction to it. And there was anger, and there was ugly tear anger, and there was, you know, excuse my French, but I won't say the real F-bomb, but there were F-bombs flying. And I sat and I started writing, and F-bombs were coming out. And it was a lot of, there was just so much anger and other feelings. And when I finally sat with it and wrote about it and stuff like that, I realized the anger was with me and my situation, not with me, but with my situation. And I don't want to be there. And that's why I'm here. And that's why this work is here. And it goes right back to self-worth. And, you know, I always teach my clients in finance that we need a strong foundation for our house, right? And then we can build on everything else. And, you know, there's apparently I've been a bit of a hypocrite unknowingly until yesterday, because my emotional house wasn't the foundation until yesterday. It wasn't solid. And so we're just going to work on that. And that's the first step to getting to, you know, a higher vibration, into and seeing all of you and hearing from all of you and where you guys are, and it's inspirational, and it's for me as well. And I just appreciate the slap in the face that this gave me to get me to say enough.
it's perfect. And you're already on your way. So this is part of it. Like, this is part of the step to create that strong foundation, right? Is to have the courage to show up. So you're so far ahead of most people. So it's super important that you see that. You're so far ahead of most people because you're here and you're having the conversation. And then the next step is deciding then what it is that the foundation is. And it's a decision. It's not like what I was saying, it's not like, well, can I do that? No, it's just a decision. Like, you just say it and it's true. That's our power. We just get to say it and it's true. And that's where my quote that's in my office, like, I wrote her and I became her. It's like, we just get to write her and we become her. There's nothing else. Like, yes, we resolve the feelings and we have high emotional intelligence and we like work through the stuff as it comes up. But that's it. That's it. You got this. You're so powerful. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your courage and your commitment, even though the thing you wanted to do was run the other way. Because some people have, and it's okay. Like there's no right or wrong. And it's by pushing through, like going through the terror bear, going through, leaning into the resistance, it's going to get you the results. Running the other way is the paradigm. And so this is you're like, it was meant to be uncomfortable. And so thank you for leaning in.
It was.
Way to go. Proud of you. Samantha.
Hi everyone, this is wonderful. So I am showing up as an international best-selling author today. And I was loving Danielle's turtlenecks. They just look so pretty, and I'm sure hers are fancier than mine, but it's all fine. I went on my favorite website. I ordered 2 without even thinking, and they came, and I love it, you guys. It has a cute little buttons in the back and cute sleeves. And I went back and ordered another one, and I didn't even think about it. I was just like, no, Danielle looks so good in those, and those are for me too. And I just ordered it, and it feels good. So that is me. I am showing up in a ponytail because until yesterday, I kind of have this thing where I'm all or nothing. So I'm like a health coach and greasy hair in a ponytail and no makeup, or all the makeup and curled hair. And so I was like, no, I'm doing full makeup and I'm doing a ponytail and I'm curling it. And so it's new. And anyways, I like it. So that's me today. And some ahas for me, Zach, my husband, is huge into sports, huge, like every sport. But I loved the analogy of the offense and the defense. And when Danielle was describing it, I was like, yes, yes. And I went to write about it and I was like, I am playing offense. And then I realized there was one thing I could say I was doing offense and the rest I was defense. And that was big for me. I'm playing enough not to lose, but I'm not until yesterday playing to win. I'm ready to win now. And so I'm ready to play the offense. And a big thing for me is I realized I'm very much okay. I'm very blessed and our finances are cushy and there's no D word and all the stuff. But I realized I want a house so bad. It'll be 2 years in April that I have been looking every single day, sometimes every hour, at houses. And I realized there was a big thing there where I realized I'm okay right now. And I'm scared. The house I want, our payment would be at least double, maybe. And I realized, oh, Samantha, that's why you still don't have it, because of all these thoughts of fear and really coming up and, how is the money going to come and all the house and la, la, la. And so I've been really mad at the economy and different things and the market and whatever. No, it's been my thoughts. So I'm ready. And I'm just declaring that my birthday is in February. By February, I am in my beautiful home and I have made a certain amount of money that is big for me to declare. But, I'm launching a book and I'm ready to play offense, and not just with my book, but other income streams as well. So that's mine.
Powerful, powerful, wonderful energy. And you look gorgeous. And I love the side pony and the turtleneck. And I've got, my turtlenecks are from Aritzia. No big thing. You look gorgeous. I love it. I love the sleeves. Way to go, Samantha. Thank you for sharing. And we see you in your home, a party in your home to celebrate your book and all the speaking gigs. So perfect. Thank you. I have Shannon next.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Danielle. Thank you so much for doing this for all of us. I'm on my cell phone and I don't usually join on my cell phone, so I'm assuming everything's working here. Yeah, cool. So how am I showing up today? It's kind of awkward to say, but I am showing up as a person who creates community, who helps people to find within them the strength and the power to be their authentic self, to step into the power of who they truly are, to recognize that they're infinite. And it is like, it's everything that you teach. It's everything that we're all doing together. And I also want to acknowledge that I really love every meeting that you have, every Zoom meeting that you have, and this program as well, the Prosperity Codes. And I really feel the power of the mastermind at work when we're here, and that we're all tapping into that infinite intelligence, like we're all batteries hooking up together and getting that power coming through us as we all support each other. And I'm really, really loving and resonating with that. So that's awesome. Some of my biggest takeaways during the program were, I was trying to be organized about this, so I tried to take some notes. First one was like healing my relationship with money. It's an ongoing process, but that's been really eye-opening and incredible opening for this program for me to take a look at my programming around my growing up and parents and different influences. And that was really good to help me take a look at what I'm doing and help to heal that. And then another really big one was recognizing taking care of your needs so that you can have ease in allowing the desires to come in. That piece was like a big click. It was like, oh, okay. So if I feel that I can take care of my groceries and my rent and, my gas and all of that, then everything else is just like cake. Like it's good. And that was really settling, brought me a piece of, okay, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay. It was really, really good. Really helped me. And then the allowing myself to be confronted part, I was confronted a lot during the program, and I was like, I don't think I like this. And there were more than a number of times I was going, I really don't like the way I'm feeling when we're talking about this stuff. And I don't know that this is right for me. Do I want to look at this? But at the end of the day, it was like some really huge ahas came out of it for me. And one of the biggest ahas was, it doesn't have to be so hard. So when I was listening to yesterday's, I had to listen to the replay because I couldn't join live yesterday. When I was listening to the replay, I went, I don't want to sit and write. I want to go lie down in my bed and listen to this. But I brought my notepad and my pen and I laid down and I was listening and taking notes in the beginning because it was just felt right. And then I started to doze off, but I knew my subconscious was taking in what you were saying. And then a point happened where I jolted upright and it went right. So I was listening to what you said and I was writing. I'm like, oh, this is gold. This is good. This is good. This is good. It was just really impactful. So another aha was just really paying attention to that inspiration that comes in and acting swiftly upon it, not like rich people act. They don't take their time. They make decisions and they do it. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do this now. And then I had an inspiration to make a phone call to someone and I was walking up the stairs with stuff in my hands and I had my cell phone in my hand. So I went, okay, I'm phoning right now. And I phoned right away and it ended up being a really positive result. I didn't know I would have anything to say and now it's just, I can't stop myself. One other really cool thing that happened for me is I've been very concerned because about meeting my needs currently and worrying how I'm going to pay for the course. And that was very top of mind for the last week. And as soon as I got off the training call yesterday, this prosperity call yesterday, and I had myself in a really good high vibe place, I got a notification in my email from my bank saying that I've just been approved for a $13,000 line of credit that I didn't even apply for. And I was like, oh shit, sorry. Thank you. So I feel that alignment and how things are coming into play and don't need to worry. I can just let things happen with ease because I've been struggling. I've been pushing and the force negates thing is hitting home. The ease is coming in. It's really good. So I'm so grateful to you and to the whole.
Perfect. And I love how it was after yesterday's call, after talking about the investment, right? So It's huge. So it's like the path of least resistance is like, let's give Shannon this amount so that she can feel ease, so that it's like the need versus desire, the rest comes. And let's show her this example of it can be this easy.
Yeah.
It's so funny so I had a similar thing happen to me in TIR when I was a client. I had put my payments on 3 cards, and I had to actually borrow one, like my mom, and to pay it. And I was paying her huge interest because I didn't have the amount. And I walked into TD, and this is when we were in the distillery, and they said, "Oh, you've been approved for a line of credit." And I was like, "Not me," because I quit my job, and we were I'm like, "Oh, it must be Paul." And they're like, "No, Danielle." I was like, "What?" And I said, "How much?" And they said 15,000. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take that." Like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Where do I sign?" Like before they find out that like, they look into this. But it's so funny because
That's exactly what I did. As soon as I got the email, I went, "Oh, but this is probably the fastest acceptance that they've ever seen." I was like, boom, yes, I want it. Okay, yeah, don't let them find out that.
and then I told Paul, and he's like, "Well, look at the amount, because you were paying at that time, because I think our credit cards maybe even at 23%, because we had so much on it. You know how it goes up the more." And and then the line of credit was for about 4%. So he's like, "Look at all that money you just earned and saved." I'm like, oh, like it was such a gift. So way to go, Shannon. So awesome. Thank you for being here.
You.
Stephanie.
Good morning. Thank you. This has been a journey, and a journey I'm still on, and unpacking a lot of things from day one with my relationship with my parents and money and where we've come from. And so 24 years ago, I walked away from corporate America to be a mom. So that was my life. And that's my identity, the mom, the crazy hockey mom. My kids played D1 hockey. We've traveled all over the country with high level hockey. So my entire identity has been my family, my kids. But tied into those successes, and I feel very much a successful mom, my kids are phenomenal, is the guilt that I don't also support financially. Even though we've been through all of this, right? Like what I give has a financial component. So trying to unpack and unkink my hose, because I don't think it's really a kink. I think it's a big fat knot that I have tied in my hose, because I still feel like my son had a hockey game last night at college, and I didn't go, and I feel guilty because I didn't go. It's a 3-hour drive from where I am. It's doable, but it's still a lot for a 2-hour game, right? So I'm kinking and unpacking my relationship with money, and God bless and thank you for all the gratitude for my husband supporting us in a phenomenal way. There is no lack in my life, truly. I have never worried about a roof over my head, food in my belly, the things that I need. That being said, I also have not lived an abundant life because I always feel like I need to find that coupon. Where can I save? What can I do? You know, I'll shop the sale rack, but if I don't really need it, I don't really need it. So unpacking all of this week has been really some aha moments and moving myself forward. And Danielle, and I don't know if it was here or Principles of Prosperity, but we've talked about being the star in your own life. And I have come to realize that I have truly played a supporting role, an important supporting role, and I am a caregiver and I take care of my parents now. But stepping into that role as a star and moving myself forward in order to move my family forward. So that has been my sort of week. And last night, I don't have a car, I totaled my car 2 years ago. It's kind of a silly thing, but walked away, no injuries, no bruises, whatever. But I haven't bought a car, not because I can't afford it, but I keep finding reasons not to. The pandemic hit, I'm home, I have a home office, I'm working from home. And I haven't left my house for a week. So my girlfriend said to me yesterday, she's like, let's go to the movies. And I kept going, oh no, I don't know. I don't want to spend the money coming to the holidays. And I went, you know what? I'm going out. I'm going to get the dinner I want. And she pulls out these gift cards as we're there, and we went to the movies afterwards. And it was just like, no, let me pay. And she's like, why? I have gift cards. And it was accepting her gift. It was being all the things sort of we talked about over this week, and being grateful and thankful and not having to take over and take care and do all of that. So that's kind of my culmination. And I'm kinking my hose and moving things forward. So thank you. Thank you.
So beautiful. And you accepted the gift. So first accepted the invitation, then had abundance. Whoosh, here you are. So beautiful. Stephanie, I acknowledge you. You are an incredible caregiver. And now it's your time to be the star of your show and be a caregiver. You get to be both. Yeah, I so acknowledge you. Thank you for being here and unkinking your hose, unkinking the knot. Oh, Stephanie, the lesson 6 in your thinking to results. Just take a look as you do the program from that lens. Yeah, way to go. Valerie, hello.
Good morning. I want to say that even just this call, there's so much gratitude that I've felt over the past 2 weeks. So much gratitude. And there's so many ahas that I don't even know where to start, but I will summarize like my biggest ahas. Today I'm showing up as my vibrant self, as my vibrant energy. I'm showing up as a millionaire in the making, as someone who shops at Gucci and at Prada and who feels good about it, who flies first class, who stays at the Four Seasons at 5-star resorts. And that's the life that I've always desired, and I'm worthy of that. I also show up as someone who does the uncomfortable things like what I'm doing right now. And one of the biggest ahas that stood out this week is Danielle saying, you know, like it's by not showing up and by not being seen, you're actually doing the world a disservice, and that's selfish. And that's where I have a lot of work to do. And I declare that I am going to show up and be seen and to share, not just in my little bubble with my clients, but to the world. And I'm strategizing on how I can do that. Because I know that I have a lot of talent and I have a lot of happy clients, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think I've always known deep down that I have a bigger impact to make. And I think that's where it's at, that I have to actually open up to the world. So that's my declaration. And the other thing that stood out is just not selling my time for money, but actually focusing on the value and the service. And actually during TIR, I changed my fee model in my business, because I always found that as of yesterday, I struggled with like the hourly rates, which as a designer is very common. And I transferred everything to a fixed fee, because I can actually focus on the creativity. I can focus on the service I provide without nickel and diming and focusing on, oh, it's this hour here and this hour there. Like, that doesn't matter. It's really about the value that I provide and that I offer to my clients. And I've been repeating this, like anytime there's an obstacle that comes through at work with a project, I tell myself service, 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 and everything will fall into place. And I hear Danielle's voice, just, you know, it's the service and the value. So it's not about, and that's how I'm solving issues or obstacles that come. It's about over serving. And from there, I will get the referrals because I have a happy client, and that's what I'm focusing on. And yeah, and I think like just really living in the desire mode versus the need. So doing the things that I want and not focusing on how much it costs, etc. I think, and also like I think Lisa touched upon that, like just being yourself. And one of the reasons like I'm wearing an electric green sweater because that's where I feel the best. Like color resonates with me so much, and I feel like it helps raise my vibration. I'm a very bubbly person. That's my personality. And an interesting thing that happened to me 2 years ago is I brought a stylist to come and help me just clear out my closet, and she removed all the color from my closet. Like everything that was color, I was like, no, like this is not good to be professional, or like you should have this and that. And I didn't feel like myself anymore because everything that I resonated with was no longer there. So I've actually been like buying the pieces that are colorful. Like I think I had mentioned in the WINS on one of the webinars, I had bought some Balenciaga heels, and one is neon pink and one is neon green. And I love that. And I'll share those like in the community, but it's stepping into that and not always depending on other people to tell me who I need to be. That really has to come from me, and stepping in and knowing that it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out in a different way. Like I don't have to fit in a box. And that's actually what's gonna make me stand out, and how I'm gonna actually help others is by just being truly who I am and being happy with that. So yeah, like there's so much there's so many ahas, and I could go on all day, but that really summarizes kind of where I'm at. And I'm really grateful for being here today and having been part of this community. And yeah, this is so great. Thank you.
Beautiful, Valerie. And I love that you're wearing also a turtleneck to cement this story.
Yes.
The color looks amazing on you.
Thank you.
You're just glowing and have such great energy. And as you were talking, and this came to mind when someone else was sharing the quote, if I'm going to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me that I think you think I should be, not the me that I think my dad thinks I should be, not the me that I think my husband. If I'm going to be free, I've got to be me. So I've got to know who I am. And you're discovering that. So beautiful. Thank you for being here and sharing such great light. Look at all these wonderful people we have in the community. It's so perfect. Wendy is next, and then we'll wrap with Jules.
Hello. Okay, let me look at my notes because I did have some notes here. So first of all, a couple of my ahas. First one, I'm closer to being a millionaire than I actually thought. And that's from just looking at, kind of my net value, and also reflecting on how much I earn now. Like, I was always focused on just, this is what I earn in a year, but I never kind of added it up and looked at, hey, even my annual income, multiplied a couple times is very close. So that was a great aha, and I'm really excited about that, just to make me feel more comfortable about where I am today. The other one, another aha was that I reevaluated my desire to pay off my mortgage in full based on the conversation about that, and realizing that that was really coming from family background, and seeing what my mom has gone through in, the latter time of her life. And she, has been in a position of lack and not able to, really even pay for her, basic needs even. And so that has influenced me. So that was a great aha, just to think about being able to leverage the money towards investments versus, paying off my mortgage. So that was good. I'm coming to the showing up today as CEO of, my CEO of my own company. And I think what I'm working on, obviously, is towards that, making the transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And I think that my being able to do that myself, I'll be able to help others in that as well. Moving into 2022, in January of this coming year, I will be, it will be my 25-year anniversary in my corporate job, which is a long time to be with a company. And so, what I've been working on over this year has been, getting me more comfortable in, being ready to kind of take that next step, and also being, getting my mindset to the point where I know that actually I can make more money than what I make now by kind of making that step. So that's what I've been working on this year. I've also been working on really just the commitment to the concept of exponential growth. Like that, has been a big focus for me this year. So the other thing that I just kind of realized as I stepped, as I've been sitting here on the call, is really being able to shine in my own light. I'm a super overachiever personality, but I've never been able to really celebrate the achievements. And part of that has been that every time I have a big success and achievement, my mom always brings me down. And the first thing she does is ask me for money every single time I have a big achievement. And it's been really tough. So that's what I'm still working on it.
You're safe, Wendy. And it's safe to earn your millions. And you get to keep it. You get to bless who you want to bless. And it's safe for you. It's safe. And it gets to grow. The money grows as you grow. And all the things that happened in the past were up until yesterday. The Wendy that we see here is not the same Wendy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even like just looking at me on the screen here, shining in the light, right?
Yeah.
Up until now, like this is my office, this is where I work all the time. The light has always I've never been comfortable with the light. Like it's never working. I never like it. But today it's like, I love that I'm shining in the light today.
It's like an angel.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a new appreciation just for my space that I'm in.
It's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Thank you for being here, and I acknowledge you. And as you earn more and more and you ground yourself in that safety, you'll also heal the relationship with money and your mom. And it's all perfect. And she asks for money because it's part of your growth in your response. So it's like, and remember when I said the fear, a fear that I discovered was that if I had money, then all the people I'd be expected to give handouts, and
yeah.
And then it kept showing up in my life, and continues to, and each time I get to like respond and just ask and respond from a different way, and it not being right or wrong.
Yep.
And it continues to change, but it's like letting go of the fear, because that definitely stops us. So you're right it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And you don't have to respond the same way every time either.
Yeah, and I've been working on that, and I know that it's been evolving even over the past couple of years.
Perfect.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it is. Congratulations. Thank you for shining your bright light, Angel.
Thank you.
You. Julianne.
Good morning, everyone. I feel like I need to process this call. Like there's been so many I'm like, just got the emotions going here. And I'm also melting. I apologize if you've got me too close to you. It's like, you might see the sweat. I've got my cleaner here today, so I'm outside.
Oh, don't make us feel bad because you're in Mexico. We're in the freezing cold. Come on. Like she's trying to rub it in here, isn't she?
Melting. So this whole week, I'm still processing so much. It's so interesting. It's like just the welcome call and going back to like how our parents did things. It's very interesting because I spoke to my dad and he was like, I don't know where you got some of this. Like my parents, we didn't have a lot, but they always came from abundance. Like it was just, they trusted that God would provide, the universe would provide. And I recalled a time like where there was a power outage in our city, and we always had wood stacked in our garage, and my mom went and delivered wood to a bunch of our neighbors. And I was like, what are you doing? Like our wood is going to run out. And my mom was like, no, it's fine. Like, but as a kid, I can recall from that, like doing the homework from the welcome call, like I created my own anxiety like that. With like my parents were just like, we're good, we're safe. But I created this lack. And I've carried that through my life. So it's just like releasing that now. But like I had multiple conversations with my dad. He's like, I don't know, like you made that up. That was not a thing. So that's pretty interesting. Like, I don't know where it came from and I don't need to figure it out. It's just like making a decision to release. And it's also been interesting going through this week, and I'm in Mexico and I'm surrounded by abundance of water and sunshine, and it's been raining a lot too. So it's just like noticing the abundance of everything, but also looking at the need versus desire, and like comparing to some of the other people I've met here who are like traveling here and they've got places for $500 a month. And they're just like, this is amazing. I can save so much money. And I've kind of been like going back and forth, like, well, maybe I should just fulfill my needs and just accept a place for 500. And I've been going back and forth, and I'm like, no, like I'm going off of desire. I've got a beautiful condo with a security guard and a pool and a view of the ocean. And like, this is why I chose to do this. Otherwise I could have stayed in my apartment in Toronto and looked at a building. Like, it's just, there's a reason I did this. So I've just been really like processing that this week, and also just being so appreciative of all of it. So Danielle, you talk about, you know, when you first wanted flowers in the house all the time, and, you know, maybe you can't have the lilies, but you can have the daisies, and, or like maybe a cleaner once a month. And I was doing that in Toronto. It's like a cleaner once a month. Well, now today I've got a cleaner here. He's amazing. And he comes every week. And it's so cheap, but it's like getting in the energy and pretending that that is $150. It's only $20. But pretending about that. And, you know, I was asking him where I could take my laundry, and it was like, oh no, I'll just take it for you. And I at first was like, I don't need that. But that's okay. Like it's like an extra $2 for him to pick it. Like it's so, but just being so grateful of that and not taking it for granted just because it's cheap. Yesterday, my security guard, Rogelio, is out front every morning, and I stopped and I said, can I get you a coffee? He was very confused because that's not a thing I don't think people do. And I was like, yeah, cafe, I bring to you. And he was just like overjoyed that like this isn't a thing. But I thought, I can't take it for granted. So that's part of like the abundance as well. It's very inexpensive here to have these experiences, yet just celebrating like all of it. So yeah, I've just been balancing the need versus desire and enjoying it. And I'm a millionaire in the making.
It's beautiful. I love how you're looking at desires, because the big part of the message is, I always say, you know, we get to purchase based on desire, and it's, as we're like, it's super important to understand the need piece, and then choose it because it's what you desire, and be illogical in some, like, you know, picking the place with the view rather than the cheaper one because you desire it. It's like, this is a process for all of us. And just notice how this program can allow some of the other things that you hear or have heard me say click differently, because people will often hear, especially like in the Prosperous You, for example, how I'm like, go out and act from her now. And I'll say that, and people really don't get it, because they're like, well, I will, like, that means that I'm going to spend beyond or whatever, you know, but this is like the backbone of the understanding. So all of that works. Does that make sense? So that you're making decisions based on desire. It's like the foundation. It's like the thinking that allows all of those ways of being to work. Yeah.
I just want to add to last Friday, no coincidence, this program has just fallen in the perfect time, but last Friday I had my biggest paycheck from multiple streams.
Yay!
And also just like, so that was something to celebrate. That was like super cool. And also just, what was I going to say? Oh, just like the coming from like looking at our needs and like taking your advice. That's the one thing I'm like really taking on, is like fulfilling the needs in the first week of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest is abundance. And I know that is like the key of releasing whatever I had as a child. I don't know where it came from, but like really it's like I'm good, I'm protected, I'm okay. And I know I don't need my nails done. You know, I found my nail girl. She was a priority for me to find in Mexico. Like, I know I don't need these things and I desire it. And like, but this is all like, this is the extra, and it's good and I'm okay. And I know that I can live off of very little because I've done it before. I moved to Toronto and I made $600 a month and I lived like that. So
and we get to, so it's super important to say that we like desire, we get to desire it all, like we get to have it all, right? So there's nothing wrong with getting the nails done. It's actually like how we're meant to live. So it's so good. Thank you, everybody, for being on this call. Just like I saw Melissa said, look at the screen. So like, look at all of you. Acknowledge you, acknowledge each other. Thank you for being here today. We'll post this recording for you and continue on the work, on your path. And I'm just so grateful to be here. And thank you for allowing me to be your leader, your guide in this course. The first time that I've taught this, and I know it won't be the last. So we so appreciate you. Starting next week, we're going into a different season in our community. It's the clearing and cutting. It's the clean slate. So I'll share the practice with you. It's important to take this on into December, and we're going to hold the space for us to do this together. So December looks very different in our community. You're going to notice the schedules are changed, and I'll explain all of that in the course. And it's a different container. It's like a container being held in such a different way as you clear and cut 2021 and reset for 2022, so that you can finish the year strong and then also create exactly what you want next year, not based on anything that's happened in the past. Thank you. Take a moment to just breathe this in, to ground. Yes, feel your heart. Allow yourself to take on any of the learnings from anyone else, so that's for you as well. Ground in the teaching and your transformation over the last 2 weeks, and continuing, and your commitment to live in this to the best of your ability. And we do this together. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday. Expect abundance.